It's less than 50 days to the conduct of Nigeria's general election. The stakes are very high. Politicians are campaigning, and the voters, the ball is in their courts to decide who becomes the president and who gets what. Welcome to Politics on Sunday. My name is Femi Akonde. Our guest today is the presidential candidate of the National Rescue Movement, one of the 18 registered political parties in Nigeria, Ambassador Felix Osakwe. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay, let's start right away. How have you been able to put the matter about the authentic presidential candidate of the party to rest? We know that INEC has recognized you as the authentic candidate, but how has the party been able to put this behind them and focus on campaigns?
Well, very well. Again, good evening, Nigerians. And it's a very simple answer. I don't want us to dwell on this because it's already a thing of the past. The party, as a matter of fact, I mean, they have me as the authentic presidential candidate, and the other side went to courts, federal high courts. They lost the case, and they went to appeal. They also lost the case. I don't think it's a matter to be discussed anymore. So I've been recognized by my party, National Rescue Movement. I've been recognized by INEC, and even court said, yes, I'm the authentic presidential candidate. So I think it's already a thing of the past.
So you have kick-started campaigns. And now tell us about your party's manifesto and how does this capture the yearnings and desire of Nigerians? And how well do you even understand what Nigerians want?
No, of course. Our manifesto, I think I will be able to highlight few, and because of time.
Go ahead.
I think the priority for us is the unity of this country. We need a president that will be able to unite this country. For example, my personal, let me say a little bit about me, my background, so that we'll understand where I'm coming from. I'm from Delta State, Kwale precisely, and of course, where I came from, we speak Igbo there. And also, I was actually born and brought up in Yoruba land, in Osun State. And so I speak both Delta, which is the South-South, and also we speak Igbo. And again, Yoruba is more or less like my first language. And so we know exactly what it means to work together with these people. And the majority of my friends today are actually from the North. And so in our manifesto, priority in our list is how to unite this country. And so we do not need another president that's going to divide this country or divide us the more.
When you say we do not need another president that will divide it, do you mean the current president has divided the country?
No, that's not what I mean. When I say we do not need another person, because again, we need no prophets to tell us that today the country is divided. And now you can see...
Is it the fault of the president?
No, it wouldn't be the fault of the president, but in a way, it's also the fault of the president. I will tell you why. Now, the president of a country must represent the nation, the country as a father, not as a leader. There's difference between being a father of a nation and the leader of a nation. How do I mean? A leader does not really care what happens to some tribes. You know why? Because I'm just a leader, just like an MD of a certain office or the CEO. All you need to do is to make sure everything is working right, and that'll be all. Do it right, then you are gone. But a father, and I'm sure you are a father as well, a father will care about his children. A father will care about if they have eaten or not. A father will not even discriminate. Maybe one is less brilliant or not. You're still going to accommodate every one of them and to make sure that all of them will be satisfied. A father will know that they have to go to school. A father will make sure that there be no strike. A father will clothe them, do everything. So the president of Nigeria must not come on board as a leader, but as a father of the nation. You are the parent of Nigerians. So you have to unite all of them, accommodate all of them, regardless of what is happening, and you do everything to make sure that you unite them. So that's what I mean, that we need a president that will unite the country the more.
Go ahead and speak more about your manifesto.
Yes, so like I said, so the unity is key for us. We do everything to make sure that religion is not going to separate us, and religion is not going to destroy the unity that is required in the country. Whether you are a Christian, whether you are a Muslim, the most important thing is that you are a father to every one of them. Whether you are not even a Christian, you are not a Muslim, it's still the same thing. So we're talking about the unity of this country. We're looking forward for a day like it used to be in the past, where a Muslim during their festival, Christians will join them to celebrate. Whenever we have Xmas or whatever you have, your Muslims will join them to celebrate. We are looking forward for a time whereby Christians and Muslims will move together as a brother and not discriminating, saying, oh, you are a Muslim, I'm a Christian. We are looking forward for a day whereby in the church we'll not be preaching against the Muslims, and Muslims will not be preaching against the Christians, believing that we are all one, from one father, for God's sake, Abraham, that we are from one source. So that is exactly what I mean. So unity in our manifesto is key. Let me give you one example. In 2019, I was the presidential candidate of DPP. And while other candidates are out there,
Democratic People's Party,
yes,
the pineapple logo,
telling Nigerians about the road, telling Nigerians about electricity is key. It's very essential. But the question is this: what can you do when there's so much insecurity? So the first thing I did is to look for a way to unite, especially the fight between the Fulani herdsmen and the farmers. So the first thing I did was to look for the president of the Metiala. You understand what I'm saying? So I had to look for the president of the Metiala. And we discussed, we spoke at length.
And some people are not comfortable with that tag Fulani headsmen, so we should just call them headsmen.
Well, it doesn't really matter. They are Fulanis, okay? They are Fulani herdsmen. And don't make no mistake about this. The Fulani herdsmen, that does not necessarily mean that they are all bad. Maybe few of them who are trying to terrorize maybe the farmers or what have you. So we're talking 2019 now. So we met, we had a very powerful meeting. What did I do? We invited the president of the farmer. They both come together at Penel Apartment. That's why I invited them. They hugged each other. I was able to dialogue between both of them. We ate together on the same table, drank together at the same table. That's the first thing I achieved. Guess what? You know what they said to me next? That I should look for some of the religious leader, Christian religious leader, and so that we can have a meeting together and dialogue among ourselves. And we'll be able to tell ourselves the truth. What have you done that is getting us angry? What have you done that? Then we'll be able to sign some kind of peace accord. I did all my best, and I knew exactly the promises given to me then. So that's what I mean, that unity of this country is key. It's not about criticizing one another, but do everything we can to unite us. Now listen to this. Whatever you achieve with violence, you have to get ready to sustain it with violence for another 100 years. Whatever you achieve through dialogue or peace, then anytime there's a problem, the same thing, the same method again, peace and dialogue will settle it. Let me give you one example. During the Nigerian and Biafra war, you remember, it started with violence, then from violence, it turned out to be war. Today, when Nnamdi had wanted Biafra again, guess what? It started with violence again. You know why? That's how that's how it started from the beginning. Okay? But if it's something that started with peace, dialogue, we want to go. Okay, you cannot go. Let's do it this way. There wouldn't be a problem with Biafra, and Biafra, like it happens during this very regime. So I am saying dialogue and peace is the key. And that's really where we can unite us. So that is on unity. Then we want to talk about the insecurity. I think today in Nigeria that is the greatest problem, insecurity. And now I'm coming here, I should be worried. Maybe there might be attack somewhere. Today, if you want to travel by road to Lagos, to Kogi, anywhere in Nigeria, you are worried. You even pray more that you want to travel. In the past, we are worried about armed robbers. Today, nobody in Nigeria is talking about armed robbers anymore. We're talking about Boko Haram, bandits, or Fulanis, or whoever that can kill or kidnap you on the road. This is where we find ourselves today. Yeah. So the priority today in Nigeria is security. And not too many people will sleep in their house with their two eyes closed because they are not sure what is going to happen in the night. So security is also a priority in our list. And I can talk about security a little bit before I move to education and some other things.
Yeah, Ambassador, your party is one of the 18 registered political parties in Nigeria. Yes. And some people have said that, these are permit me to use what, smaller parties. A lot of them, their candidates have brilliant ideas, very good manifestos and all of that. But in the real game, it's difficult for candidates of this party to be thrown up by the system or to maybe get elected and all of that. We just see them in the contest, but at the end of the day, one way or the other, it's like they fizzle out.
Yeah, very good. And the most important thing is that the message is very clear and Nigerians are aware. And now you have to choose between evil and good. Unfortunately, our country, our system, is a system whereby we call evil good and we call good evil. I don't really know what they mean by smaller party. Is it because the party and the candidate have not stolen money before, because they have not been in the system? Was that the reason why they call them smaller? Are they more brilliant than those whom they call smaller? Or is it because they have not been part of the system that is so corrupt and they stole so much money to throw it out there to convince everybody that, oh, we are the one who can do it? Is that what they mean by big? No. When you talk about being big, I think it's about your intelligence, what you have. And at this point, that is what I want Nigerians and our youth to consider. So it's not about the party, it's about the person. What do you have to offer? So now, for example, let me talk about National Rescue Movement. National Rescue Movement is not a small party. One, you can verify with INEC. A party that has 824 candidates cannot be considered a smaller party. And there are so much ideas, vibrant people, youths in our party. But if someone is to tell us today that yes, the kind of money with the presidential candidate and the party you have is nothing to be compared to the ones we call big party, not by intelligence, not at all. As a matter of fact, I think the so-called quote unquote the smaller party, their candidates and what have you, they are more intelligent than some of these people that consider to be the smaller.
The disadvantage they have is maybe lack of funds.
You what?
Disadvantage.
You mean the smaller party?
Yes.
And of course, to some extent it is. And now, you know why? The system is corrupt. Those people you've just considered to be huge party or bigger party, they have what it takes to deceive others. But they intentionally, on purpose, so they want them to go hungry. They want poverty in the land. So the next time they want to come aboard, because we are poor, you have to run to them and say, oh, whatever it takes. And an hungry man is an angry man. You don't think about any other thing again because you are hungry. So they have what it takes to say, oh, you come and take this. At the moment they gave them some little thing, then they say, oh, if that should be the way, is that the way to go? Rank it. Let me say something. Please permit me to say this. In the past, even 2019, you have seen some presidential candidates, quote unquote, you've just called them the big party, that sat down with the almajiris to drink kuno. You've seen some candidates, or even some vice presidents, who went all over the place trekking at Wuse Market, that we have come to identify with the poor. You see some of them ate corn with the poor.
Is it that being poor has become fashionable? Or what?
Well, of course, it's a way of telling them that we're with you. The question is this. Before then, have you seen them in Wuse Market before? Before then, have they gone to Wuse Market to see anyone? Before then, have they ate or slept in a very uncompleted building with children in their rooms? That is done before the election, to tell them we are here, to pass simple message, you are poor. If you don't vote for us, you continue like this. We are going to better your life. Then before, have you seen them? After, will you see them again? Will they even mention their name again? And that's why National Rescue Movement, to be honest with you, I think we are going to, by the grace of God, we are going to be president for all, not for the elites and not just for the poor. And if you care to know, one of our priorities is even to make sure that we bring more poor people, quote unquote. That is what they are being called, that they are poor. There's only God that knows who is poor. Poverty is poverty, and not being poor is here, not what we can show.
You know, President Muhammadu Buhari's administration also has that plan to lift 100 million people out of poverty, and we have seen them begin to execute that with their national, the social insurance programs, and the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management also rolling out programs to lift people out of poverty. Yes. How well would you say they have done it?
You are aware. We need not to deceive ourselves. You are a young man and you know the truth. And like I said, we called evil good and good evil. Today we have more poor people more poverty in the land than what it was 7 years ago. And so to promise is one thing, and the greatest problem is that when you make your promises and you are not accountable to anybody, and you are not accountable to Nigerians, it is just talk, like we've heard it many years ago. Those whom you said they are very rich, they are all that, is because they are corrupt, and they are not accountable to anybody. And nobody is holding them accountable for whatever they have done.
Okay, Ambassador Osakwe, we'd like to take a quick break now, and when we return, I'd also like to get your view about former President Olusegun Obasanjo's endorsement of a particular candidate, but that will be after the break.
Thank you.
Stay with us.
Thank you.
President Muhammadu Buhari was in Adamawa and Yobe State to campaign for the APC presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. The presence of Mr. President added a new energy to the campaign that's already going around the country, talking to voters and mobilizing support for the Tinubu-Shettima presidential ticket.
The significance of President Muhammadu Buhari at the forefront campaign for the election of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot be overemphasized. First and foremost, President Muhammadu Buhari is the father of the nation and the leader of our great party, the All Progressives Congress, APC. President Muhammadu Buhari was voted twice by majority of the Nigerian voters. In 2015, he was voted to win over the then incumbent President Ebele Jonathan, and in 2019 with even bigger margin to defeat Alhaji Abubakar Atiku of People's Democratic Party. President Muhammadu Buhari's popularity among Nigerian population cannot be overemphasized.
The G5 governors are still at loggerheads with the People's Democratic Party and its Presidential Campaign Council, but they are yet to make real their threats to openly campaign for their preferred candidates. The flag-off of Governor Seyi Makinde's re-election campaign in Oyo State did not reveal where the 5 PDP governors will pitch their tents. However, Governor Samuel Otom of Benue State put out a press statement to commend former President Olusegun Obasanjo's decision to support the candidacy of Peter Obi. But the Benue State governor did not say if he has also decided to throw his weight behind the Labour Party presidential candidate.
Now it is time to upgrade. It is time for Obi to do 2 points.
Since you gave him the mandate in 2019, and therefore, the only way we can appreciate more, but all people benefit more, is for you to go back and complete the good work he has started.
The presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, has promised youth that he will make them job creators and not job seekers. He also said youths will play a vital role in his administration if he is elected. Bola Tinubu appealed to young Nigerians not to be distracted by negative political narratives peddled by opposition political parties just to win their votes. The National Youth Coordinator of the Tinubu-Shettima presidential campaign and Governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, assured the APC presidential candidate of landslide victory at the polls.
You deserve a better Nigeria. You asked for it, and you will have it. I'm here as your accepted candidate with a renewed hope to give you today, tomorrow, and day after. Then the inheritance is yours.
God has blessed you with everything human being will ever need in this life. And there's no doubt that hereafter remain abound for you as well. But we need you more than you need us. The younger generations need you. Nigeria need you. We all need you. Don't trouble yourselves.
Welcome back to the program. We're still speaking with Ambassador Felix Osakwe, the presidential candidate of the National Rescue Movement, telling us about what he intends to do if he gets elected as president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Ambassador, let's move to another topic now. You know, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, should I say, stirred the honest nest when he came out with that endorsement of Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. And some people have said that you're a statesman, you should be a father for all and be neutral instead of coming to take a stand in at this crucial moment. What's your own view?
For me, this shouldn't be a national issue at all. Like you rightly said, he is a father, elder statesman. He has his own opinion. He has his reasons. And I want to think maybe he understood these three individuals very well. Remember in his letter, quotes, he said that all three of them are not saints. Now that's deep. That simply means I know them. I know their history. I know their stories. So all three of them are not saints, which means they are not perfect people to actually rule this nation at this time.
But however, is he the position to say that looking at his own antecedents?
Yes, I'm coming. But he said, however, I think it would be better off. And you know why? Like I said, he's a man of wisdom. You don't forget in a hurry when he was the president of this country. Obi too was the governor of Anambra State. So there's some kind of relationship. So he understood these guys very well. And why I said this should not be a national issue, I believe if by tomorrow, if he sees somebody that is better off, the little I know about former President Olusegun Obasanjo, he will change his mind again, apologize to Nigerians and say, I think I've seen someone that is better than Obi, so we can go with it. So he is a Nigerian, he's a father, that is his own opinion, and he's entitled to his own opinion. And it's not forcing anybody to vote for Peter Obi. He only said, three of them, none of them is a saint, but I think this one is better. So I advise you better choose this one. So it's not forcing anybody to do it. It shouldn't be a discussion at all.
Ambassador Osakwe, Nigeria is indebted to the tune of 77 trillion naira, and this will be something the incoming government will have to face. Doesn't this scare you?
No, I'm not scared. I'm not scared because to start with, the question we need to ask ourselves, how do we even get here? What happened? And those are the things we need to visit first. How do we get here? What happened? Then when I begin to talk about solution. It's so interesting that I've listened to some of us among the 18 presidential candidates. We talked about all the challenges and problems in Nigeria, but not too many of them has offered solution. Same thing we have been hearing again and again for the past 20 years. But not too many of us have really given Nigerians telling them what they have as a solution to the problem. And so, like I said, how do we get here? Where are we now? Then the next question will be, where are we going? What will be the solution? If you ask me, there's no reason for us to get into this at all. I mean, to have gotten to where we are now. There was no reason for it at all. God has blessed us. Sincerely speaking, I've been to places, many countries all over the world. I've lived in the United States for about 30 years. And the kind of solid minerals we have in Nigeria today, in fact, other countries should come and borrow from us, not us going to borrow. So then you ask, am I scared? Why would I be scared? And
because
now,
it's not going to be a walk in the park.
No, I'm not scared because what it takes to pay off the debts and will live a normal life is already in Nigeria. I'll give you a few examples. If you go to Kogi State here, right here, Kogi right here, the steel in Kogi State can turn Kogi State to another Dubai. Now, just because we have probably the federal government is in control of everything and they will not allow you to make use of the resources that God has deposited in your own state all the way to the local government. They want to police everything and control everything. Now we're having serious challenges. Now, what is it that we have in South Korea? Same thing, the kind of deposits in Kogi State, that's the same thing that God gave them. They have no crude oil, they have no gold. They are living fine as we are here. South Korea products is in this room. There's no house you will enter without South Korea's products. Why? Same thing we have in Kogi State, that's all they have. quick one. You move to Enugu State here. The deposit of coal in Enugu State, I think Nigeria should be able to power not only Nigeria, most countries in West Africa. But because our governments are corrupt, intentionally do not want to do it. You go to Ondo State, bitumen. You go to Osun State, gold and diamond. You go to Nasarawa here, uranium. Uranium is even more expensive than crude oil. So we have all it takes, and God has given us everything in this country, but just because our leaders, they've made a choice that we are not going to do anything about it. So we can't have all these minerals, solid minerals, in Nigeria, and thinking of how we're going to pay off these debts, or we need to borrow more. I think by the grace of God, once we have the right person in place, which I believe and I am trusting God that I will be, and all these things, we have to revisit it again.
Yeah, Ambassador, for someone who has been in politics and also closely observed happenings in Nigeria's polity, during election cycles, we see a lot of parties come up. When it's getting close to election, a lot of them collapse their structures and begin to endorse certain candidates and join other parties, support other parties, and all of that. Do we see that happening with the NRM?
Well, you see, there is this saying that's, let me talk about before now, according to what you just asked me. Before now, it's always, if you cannot win them, then you join them. Okay? If you cannot defeat them, then you join them. And again, there are some who made up their mind that if they are going to lose, they will lose all the way. And they're never going to join anybody. And I want to assure you, these 18 presidential candidates, some of them will join, will collapse their structure with other structures, and why some will say we will never. So we talk about the NRM. NRM, number one, is just bigger than me. NRM is like when I'm a pastor, I own churches, many places, even in India. I cannot say because I'm the founder of the church, there I am the church, I take decisions without others. And that is even not the quality of a leader or a parent. Yeah. So if such a thing will happen, then there will be a discussion between the presidential candidate and the party, if it's going to happen at all. So whatever we agreed on, and we prayerfully look into it, and that is if we have gotten to the point whereby we feel and we think we cannot do it on our own anymore, and then if that is the solution, at that point, if that is what you advise and we all agree, then I would say maybe it is possible.
Okay. If you get to that point, which political party's bandwagon would you jump on? If
you know what you're asking me now. I've just told you I want to go to Lagos. Then you are asking me, getting to the airport, which of the plane will I enter? Until I get to the airport.
No, but you have to know before you get to the airport. Yeah, you're flying with this particular airline.
No, most times I've been to the airport before I purchase my ticket.
But this is politics. It's a different ballgame.
No, it's almost the same thing. You know why it's the same thing now? I said the party and the candidates, they will have to come together and agree. So it's only when that is done.
Your own opinion would also be very vital in forming that decision.
Yes. You see, again, I've just told you that a leader must behave and must be a parent. You see, at times as a parent, your opinion might be the best, but when your children says, no, daddy, we should do it this way, can two work together and say they agree? You have to say, okay, if that is what will keep this family together, I agree with you.
Well, a hard nut to crack. Ambassador Felix Osakwe, thank you very much for your time on the program.
Thank you.
And that's all on Politics on Sunday. You can see this episode again on TVC News YouTube channel. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. I am Femi Akondi. See you next time.